Welcome back, the rare and valuable coins. Today, we're diving deep into the world of Lincoln Wheat penny coins value in today's market. First up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny, specifically the large date version with an S mint mark in dirty condition. You might not think that a dirty penny could hold much value, but you'd be surprised. In this video, we'll discuss why this particular 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is so valuable, even in a condition that's seen better days, and what it's worth in today's coin market. Stick with us as we dive into the rich history, design features, and market value of this remarkable coin. First, let's talk about the history behind this unique penny. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny is famous for being struck during World War II, when copper, a key material used in making coins, was in short supply. To conserve copper for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a temporary switch to using steel for the production of pennies. The result? The 1943 steel penny, which stands out from the usual copper-based Lincoln pennies. Its shiny, silvery appearance makes it easily recognizable, and it's often a favorite among coin collectors due to its historical significance. Now let's focus on the coin we're discussing today. The 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with the S Mint mark, which means it was produced at the San Francisco Mint. The large date version of the coin is particularly noteworthy because of the size difference in the numbers of the year 1943, making it stand out from other 1943 pennies. While the penny we're looking at today is in dirty condition, its historical significance and unique features still make it highly collectible. Dirty condition doesn't mean that the coin's value disappears. It simply affects how much collectors are willing to pay. But more on that in a moment. On the obverse, we see the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The inscription, "In God We Trust," runs along the top, and Liberty and 1943 are displayed as part of the design. Even in dirty condition, the features of Lincoln's face are still visible, though the surface of the coin shows signs of wear, dirt, and corrosion. Flipping the coin over to the reverse, we're reminded of the wheat stalks design, which was a common motif for Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958. The reverse also features the inscriptions E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom, with the familiar wheat stalks flanking the sides. Despite the dirt, the design is still relatively clear, and you can make out the shape of the wheat stalks and the overall structure of the coin. So how many of these 1943 Lincoln Steel pennies were minted? In total, approximately 191 million steel pennies were struck in 1943, and of those, 22 million were made at the San Francisco Mint, which is where our S Mint mark comes in. While these coins are relatively common in terms of mintage, the S Mint mark does add a layer of rarity compared to the other minting locations. In today's market, a 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with an S Mint mark in dirty condition typically holds a value of around $100,000. This might not sound like much compared to other more pristine examples, but when you consider that 1943 steel pennies are a key date in coin collecting, even a dirty coin like this can be of interest to collectors. The value fluctuates based on factors like collector demand, auction prices, and the rarity of the coin in certain conditions. While coins in fine condition or uncirculated grades can be worth much more, this dirty version still holds its own in the market. It's also important to note that this coin's historical context, being produced during World War II, adds to its appeal. If you happen to have a 1943 steel penny in your collection, it's important to handle it with care. While this coin is in dirty condition, it's best to store it in a way that protects it from further wear and dirt. A coin holder or slab is a great way to keep it safe. One thing to note, cleaning your coin is generally not recommended, as it can reduce its value. The dirt on this penny is part of its story, and removing it can cause damage that detracts from the coin's charm. If your coin is particularly grimy, you can consult a professional coin conservator to see if any restoration or preservation is possible without compromising the coin's value. Next up, the 1943 Lincoln Steel penny with D Mint mark and the large date. Known for its historical significance and unique features, this coin continues to attract collectors and investors alike. If you've ever wondered about the value of this penny in today's market, you're in the right place. In this video, we'll break down the fascinating history, design, and current market value of the 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D mint mark in fine condition. So, stick around as we uncover why this penny is a must-have for collectors and how much it's worth in today's auctions. Let's start with some background. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny was minted during one of the most challenging times in U.S. history, World War II. During this time, copper was in short supply due to wartime needs, so the U.S. Mint made a temporary shift to producing pennies with steel instead of copper. This shift led to the creation of the steel penny, a coin that's now instantly recognizable because of its shiny, silver-like appearance. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny became one of the most unique coins ever produced, and its large date version, in particular, is highly sought after by collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the 1943 Lincoln steel penny we're focusing on today. This particular penny features the large date, which refers to the distinctive oversized digits in the year 1943. It was produced at the Denver Mint, and as indicated by the D Mint mark, it adds an additional layer of rarity to the coin. The large date version is prized by collectors for its distinct look, and the D Mint mark further elevates its value. But what about the condition? Well, this penny is in fine condition, which means it shows signs of wear but retains enough details to be recognizable and valuable. On the obverse, we have the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner. The inscriptions, "In God We Trust Liberty," and the large date of 1943 are all visible, though slightly worn in the case of this fine condition coin. Despite the wear, Lincoln's image remains clear and easily identifiable, making this penny a true piece of history. Flipping the coin over, we see the reverse side, which features the famous wheat stalks design. This was the standard reverse for Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958, designed by Victor David Brenner as well. The inscriptions on the reverse include E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom, with the wheat stalks on either side. Despite the coin's fine condition, the details of the wheat stalks remain quite visible, adding to the coin's appeal. Now, let's talk about the mintage. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny with D Mint mark was produced at the Denver Mint, where about 191 million steel pennies were struck in total that year. Out of those, approximately 20 million were minted with the D Mint mark. While this is still a large number, the D Mint mark version is less common than the Philadelphia No Mint mark version, making it more desirable to collectors. So how much is a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D Mint mark in fine condition worth today? In today's market, coins in fine condition typically sell for around $86,000 at auction, depending on factors like demand and overall collector interest. While this may seem like a modest amount, it's important to remember that the historical significance and rarity of the large date with D Mint mark version elevate its value among collectors. If you're lucky enough to have a 1943 Lincoln steel penny with a D Mint mark in your collection, it's important to handle it with care. Even coins in fine condition can deteriorate if not stored properly. Using a coin holder or slab will help protect your investment and keep the coin in the best possible shape. And a quick tip for collectors: never clean your coins. Cleaning can damage the surface of the coin, which will lower its value. If you ever need to restore or preserve your coin, it's best to consult a professional coin conservator to ensure that it doesn't lose its value. Next up, the most significant coins in U.S. history, the 1943 Abraham Lincoln steel penny with the large date and no mint mark. This particular penny is not just a piece of currency, it's a symbol of a challenging era in American history. Today, we're going to explore what makes this coin so valuable, especially in good condition, and what it's worth in the current market. So, let's dive into the fascinating world of the 1943 Lincoln steel penny and discover its true value today. To truly understand why the 1943 Lincoln steel penny is so special, we need to step back in time to 1943. During World War II, the U.S. was facing a severe shortage of copper. To conserve this precious metal for the war effort, the U.S. Mint made a significant change. They decided to produce the penny using steel instead of the usual copper. This move resulted in the creation of the famous steel penny, which would become one of the most recognizable coins in American numismatic history. Now let's zoom in on the coin itself. The 1943 Lincoln steel penny is unique because of its large date. The digits in the year 1943 are noticeably larger than the standard size used on other pennies. This large date variety was produced by the Philadelphia Mint and was specifically created during a short period of time, making it rarer than other coins minted in the same year. On the obverse of this coin, we see the portrait of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. The design, created by Victor David Brenner, has remained a cornerstone of the Lincoln penny series for over a century. Here, Lincoln's image is clearly visible despite the good condition of the coin, showing some wear, but still retaining enough detail to be easily recognizable. Now, flipping the coin over, we get a glimpse of the reverse side, which features the iconic wheat stalks design. This reverse was designed by Brenner and was used on Lincoln pennies from 1909 to 1958. It shows two stalks of wheat, with the inscriptions E pluribus unum at the top and 1 cent at the bottom. Despite the coin's good condition, the details of the wheat stalks are still visible, making this coin a beautiful example of early 20th century American design. Let's talk about the mintage numbers for the 1943 Lincoln steel penny. In total, over 1 billion steel pennies were produced in 1943. However, the large date variety with no mint mark is particularly significant. This variety was minted in Philadelphia, and there was no mint mark on the coin to indicate its place of production. Out of the billions struck, the large date version is relatively rare and remains highly sought after by collectors today. So what is the value of a 1943 Lincoln steel penny in good condition today? Well, in the current coin market, a good condition version of this penny typically sells for between $95,000 in most auctions. While this may not seem like a huge amount, it's important to remember that the historical significance, the large date variety, and the steel composition all add a certain level of rarity and collector appeal. Next up, the 1951 Abraham Lincoln Wheat Penny. But this isn't just any penny, it's the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny without a mint mark, and it's in extra fine condition with a stunning red color shade. In this video, we're going to explore the history, features, and value of this remarkable coin and discover what it's worth in today's market. So, let's get started. Before we dive into the specifics of the 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, let's take a moment to understand the historical context. The year 1951 was a significant time in American history. The U.S. was recovering from World War II, and the economy was transitioning into a period of growth. The Lincoln Wheat Penny was part of everyday transactions, but little did anyone know, these coins would later become highly sought-after collectibles. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one of the last years to feature the wheat stalk design, which had been a staple on the penny since 1909. This was a coin that people used daily, but now, over 70 years later, it's a valuable treasure for collectors. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1951 Lincoln Wheat Penny, in extra fine condition, is a beautiful example of numismatic artistry. This penny is known for its smooth, clear details and striking red color shade, a rarity in coins of its age. Over time, the copper in the penny has developed a rich reddish hue which enhances its aesthetic appeal. What makes this coin particularly valuable is its extra fine condition. Coins in this grade show minimal wear, with all the key details of the design still visible. On the obverse, we can clearly see Abraham Lincoln's portrait, designed by Victor David Brenner, with sharp details that show the president's profile. The date of 1951 is prominently displayed below Lincoln, and the inscription, "In God We Trust," arches above his head. On the reverse, we see the classic wheat stalk design, which is one of the most iconic features of the Lincoln penny series. The wheat stalks represent the agricultural roots of the United States, and the inscription, "E pluribus unum," is visible above the stalks. Below them, we find 1 cent in bold letters, emphasizing the coin's value. Despite the coin's age, this design remains crisp and clear due to the extra fine condition. In total, there were over 1,951 Lincoln wheat pennies minted, and they were produced in both the Philadelphia Mint and the Denver Mint. The Philadelphia Mint version, which has no mint mark, is what we're focusing on today. Though the mintage for the 1951 penny was high, it's still a coin that continues to catch the eye of collectors, especially when it's in such good condition. Now, let's talk about the value of the 1951 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition with a red color shade in today's market. A penny in this quality can fetch anywhere between $30,000 in today's auctions or coin dealers' shops. While this may not seem like a huge amount, it's important to note that the red color adds extra value because it signals a well-preserved coin that hasn't been exposed to excessive wear or tarnishing over the decades. For coins in higher grades, such as uncirculated or proof-like examples, the value can increase significantly. However, the extra fine condition and vibrant red color shade make this penny a rare find and a wonderful addition to any collection. If you own a 1951 Lincoln wheat penny in extra fine condition, or any rare coin for that matter, it's crucial to store it properly. The best way to preserve your penny's condition is by keeping it in a coin holder or slab to protect it from further damage. This ensures that the coin retains its value over time and doesn't succumb to wear from handling. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in very fine condition. This penny is not just any old piece of history, it's a coin that has stood the test of time and continues to captivate collectors today. In this video, we'll talk about the history, the design features, and most importantly, the value of this iconic coin in today's market. So, grab your magnifying glass and let's get into it. To understand the value of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny, it's important to know the historical context. The year 1944 was right in the middle of World War II. While the war was taking a toll on the world, the U.S. was transitioning to a post-war economy. The U.S. Mint, at this time, was focused on producing enough coins to keep the economy running smoothly. The Lincoln wheat penny had been in circulation for over 30 years by 1944, and it was still using the familiar wheat stalk design on the reverse. However, 1944 was also a year that would mark a special place in the world of numismatics. Why? Because during this time, many of the coins were still being made from copper, as the war had led to the production of some unique wartime pennies that were made from steel or zinc. But that's a different topic for another day. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny is known for its obverse design featuring the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln. Designed by Victor David Brenner, Lincoln's image is sharp and proud, with the date 1944 located beneath his profile. The mint mark in this case, the D for the Denver Mint, is located right below the date. The word liberty can be seen above Lincoln's head, along with the motto, "In God We Trust." The detail on this coin, being in very fine condition, shows little wear but retains all of Lincoln's key features. The overall look of the coin is very clean, with no major scratches or surface damage. On the reverse of the coin, we see the well-known wheat stalk design, which was used on the Lincoln cent from 1909 to 1958. The wheat stalks symbolize the agricultural heritage of the United States. Above them, we see the motto E pluribus unum, and beneath the stalks, the words 1 cent clearly indicate the coin's value. As with the obverse, the reverse of this penny in very fine condition maintains its crisp features and has excellent definition. You'll notice the slight wear on the wheat stalks and the coin's edges, which is typical for very fine condition. But overall, it's a coin that looks much better than one you would expect after years of circulation. The 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with the D mint mark was produced in significant quantities. In fact, over 430 million of these pennies were minted at the Denver Mint. Even though the mintage numbers are quite high, finding a well-preserved coin like the one we're focusing on today is rare. Coins that are in very fine condition and show minimal wear are always more desirable to collectors, making them more valuable. So, what is this coin worth today? Well, the value of the 1944 Lincoln wheat penny with D mint mark in a very fine condition can vary depending on the market and the coin's exact condition. Typically, you can expect to see coins like this sell for anywhere between $15,000 in today's market. While this might not seem like much, it's important to remember that this coin is still in relatively high demand among collectors because of its historical significance and relatively good condition for a coin that's over 75 years old. Of course, the value can go higher if the coin is in higher grades, such as extremely fine or uncirculated. Coins in perfect condition or with rare variations such as errors or misprints can fetch even more. But for a very fine example like this, the value is generally within the range we mentioned. Now, if you have a 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny in your collection, make sure to store it properly. The best way to keep the coin in good condition and maintain its value is by using a protective coin holder or slab. This helps preserve the coin's surface and prevents it from being damaged by dirt, oil, or even improper handling. To wrap it up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat penny, with D mint mark in very fine condition, is a highly collectible coin with a rich history. It's not the rarest of pennies, but its well-preserved state and the classic design continue to make it a favorite among collectors. If you come across one in your change or have one in your collection, now you know what it's worth in today's market.